Team Underground's Rickie Moore in the black and camo.
Fight, you ready? Fight.
Chasen Blair in the blue with red trim. Moore's going to have to be careful throwing those kicks, and that's exactly why, Dan.
Well, there you go. We were expecting it, and it came pretty early. You know, pretty nice position he's found himself in, but Moore doing a great job of regaining that closed guard position. I mean, when you have someone of the wrestling pedigree of Blair, it's not really a question of whether they're going to take you down, it's when they're going to take you down. And more importantly, and what the interesting part is that we're going to see now is, what's he like on the ground? You know, we know he can get the fight to the ground here, but, you know, stuff like this, it's fun, but it's, you know, picking someone up inside of guard and slamming them isn't really going to be doing much damage, and it's very, very high output. You've got to remember, when wrestling, the sport of wrestling is very explosive, but the rounds are very, very short. It's very different to MMA, where these guys are potentially going for 15 minutes. So he's got to balance his output, and he's got to be smart with what he's doing here. And he's got to be doing more than just hold inside of this closed guard.
Oh, that's another big slam and big ground and pound here from Chasen Blair.
Yeah, and this is it. You can, I mean, it's not the way that I would look to open the guard. It's kind of a high output technique there. But as soon as the legs of Moore open, Blair needs to make sure that he's not allowing him to reclose it, because obviously he doesn't want to be in this position. You know, he's not really actively working from here. He's not doing much other than standing up and trying to slam him both of the legs. He's not really trying to posture. He's not trying to pressure. He's not really even trying to strike from here. So, you know, I'm not sure quite what the game plan is from this position. Usually a wrestler, it's take him down and then, you know, grind him and strike him and punch him and put him and doing stuff like this. And you see how now the legs are open. Now, if he wanted to, he could look to pass the guard. So now we're seeing a little bit more activity from on top.
In the corner of Rickie Moore, we're calling for the triangle there, but he's certainly not being given many chances here by Chasen Blair.
I mean, Blair's picking these shots, but he is, you know, there looks like to be a lot of power in these shots when he's throwing them. Moore tries to stand up, immediately thrown straight back to the ground.
Yeah, you've got to believe that Rickie Moore knew he'd be in this position for long periods during this fight, so perhaps the game plan is to wear Chasen Blair out in this position and then strike later on in the fight when Blair's getting tired and isn't able to perhaps take him down as quickly and as easily.
Yeah, absolutely. He just needs to be careful about taking a lot of these shots, because you see, as soon as these big strikes start coming in, he's covering up and he's not really moving. He has to be careful here. Very careful.
Huge ground and pound, and it's over. Chasen Blair dropping a barrage of hammer fists on Rickie Moore, and referee Harry Selby had seen enough.
And you saw every single time Blair was going to strike from here, and he's throwing big shots. He was just not worrying about doing any little bits of damage. He's looking for big haymakers on the ground, and every single time he dropped any of these big strikes, Moore wasn't really intelligently defending. I mean, forget about the actual finish, any time that this was happening. So he was just kind of getting the legs, trying the frame, but it doesn't stop the opponent. You want to be closing the distance and taking away their ability to strike from there, and he just wasn't doing that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially 2 minutes, 47 seconds. Round number one. Referee Harry Selby puts a halt to the bout. Your winner by TKO, Chasen Blair.